Hey, you guys, I am finally back in Beijing. We had a wonderful vacation. Uh, it was just great. So, I wanted to do this video to say welcome to the challenge, welcome to the um, Doing It Afraid challenge, and to invite those who maybe haven't joined yet. The reason I think it's important that we do this challenge, one, because I really do know and understand that our greatest life live on the other side of fear. And what I mean by that is most of us, from the time we were young, had these great ideas planted inside of us. Because the Bible tells us that we were fearfully and wonderfully made, that God knitted us together in our mother's womb. So, in that being said, I truly believe that when He knitted us together, because He says He knows us, He knows like every hair on our head, that inside of us He placed these dreams. And all of us, we have these different dreams. And those dreams are those are our purpose. So I get that we live in a society that tell us that we should go forth, graduate from college, get a high paying job. I get that. But my thing is, if you are in a place where you don't find yourself fully satisfied or excited about life, then tap in, go deeper, find out what it is, what is your purpose. And truth is, I think deep down you know. Maybe it's gotten a little lost in the clutter, but typically we know. Like there's that thing that we do well without really trying, or other people pointed out to us. You have those people who maybe tell you, "Man, I love talking to you because you encourage me all the time," or maybe you're the person who do math really easily. Like, I mean, that's my husband. I mean, that's his gift. I don't even, when I'm with him, I don't use a calculator because I just figured, well, Andrea figured it out, and he typically does. He can use the calculate numbers and come up with the answers long before the people that we're around or we're talking to. That's just his gift. So the reason I want to do this challenge is because I want you all to realize that those little voices that are telling you, no, you can't do that, you better not quit your job, or, and I'm not encouraging anyone to quit their job, but I'm saying you better not go after that goal, or who are you to do it, who are you to write a book, which is the voice I kept hearing in my head before I even wrote my book, or I'm here in Beijing, I'm a stranger, no one here knows me. So not only am I dealing with people who don't know me, I'm dealing with people of a different culture, absolutely a different race, but still trying to do it, getting out there anyway. I figure, you know what? If I fail, what's the worst can happen? We're here. I live here anyway. My husband has a secure job for now, um, and I get to pretty much decide what my time looks like. So for me, that looks like literally praying and leaning on God. I have learned that in life, because I believe that I've tapped into my dream, the part of doing it afraid was getting on the plane the first time when Andre got his first job abroad. So many people said to me, "I can't believe you're gonna leave. That you're gonna leave your family. You're gonna leave everything you know." It was okay. It turned out great. I mean, that was to me when we start living our best life. Does that mean that life is easy or here or anything? No. It just feels like the good times feel really good and the bad times feel really meaningful. Like I get it. I see God in everything because I'm doing it afraid. I'm completely dependent on him. Even what do I do with my day? There are mornings when I wake up and it's like, okay, Lord, what am I going to do today? And I may check the email, and it's someone who's inviting me to come to lunch with them, or um, maybe I get a phone call, can you come sub a class? Or there have been times where, even today, I decided, okay, I'm going to do a video, but I got an email to ask me about a marriage gathering that I'm putting together. So then to me, that's like, okay, God, I need to work on that. But just learning to lean and depend on him in everything. And that is what Doing It Afraid is about. It's about building your faith muscle. It's about growing stronger in him. So one of the things that really gets me, and I'm going to pick on us a little bit. I'm a Christian, so I think I can do it. I'm going to pick on us a little bit. We talk a good game about Jesus and how wonderful he is and all that he's done for us. But how many of us really trust him? I think Christians, we should live the most boldest life ever. We should really be willing to do it afraid. I mean, we believe that a God in heaven loved us so much that he sent down his only son to die for us. to me, like, that's the ultimate gift of love. So at that point, when I think about that, I don't have to wonder or guess anymore. Does God love me? I know with all certainty that He does, because I just lean right there on that point. His love has nothing to do with the way He loves me, has nothing to do with the way I act, or the bad decisions I make. He just loves me. And the reason I say that is because, think about it. Jesus died long before I was born. So His love was not conditioned on me doing anything, but just being. When I think about the idea that God would have did that for me, even if I was the only person on earth, like, He loved me so much that in order for me to be in any deeply connected relationship with Him, that He knew that the world required a sacrifice because of sin. So, like, I'm worth that to Him, and you are too. And that's the thing I want us to get. So during the challenge, I plan to do these videos to help us get connected and focus on, how do you do life afraid? What does that mean? What does that look like? So in this video, the one thing I want to talk about the most is identity. Understanding who you are. Understanding whose you are. Like, and really connecting to that. It is when I fully received the revelation that God loved me, that I was able to just step out and just do it, and make decisions that perhaps didn't make logical sense. His word over and over again, God's word tells us about wisdom. He says in His word that His wisdom will protect us. One of the other things that, like, just really resonated with me is that one day I realized that, actually heard a teacher say this. I think it was Iyanla Vanzant or another spiritual teacher, but she said that there are only two true emotions: love and fear. And when I thought about that, if that's true, if there's really only true two emotions, love and fear, and everything else is an expression of love or fear. So I started really meditating on that, and I thought, like, Lord, is that true? Is that possible? So I actually, me being who I am, I started researching the word love in the Bible and researching the word fear in the Bible. And it was amazing to me, the words that was connected to those two words. But my big revelation that happened for me was, I realized I had spent most of my life reading God's word through a lens of fear instead of seeing His love. See, I come to believe that because God says He is the Alpha and the Omega, He's the beginning and the end, that He is all things. He's in everything. That's what His word says. So what if, because of who we are and our perception in life, because He is everything and He's in all things, God becomes who we perceive Him to be in our life. So during the time when I was talking about earlier about reading the word and viewing God from a fear place. So when I was earlier in my walk in Christianity, and I'm reading the Bible and listening to sermons, I could only hear the fear part, the kind of, you got to get right, or the thou nots, and don't do this, and if you want the Lord's favor, then you have to do this and you have to do that. I think there is maybe some truth in some of that, but what I'm saying is, when you hear that from a place of fear, then it's like, for me at least, I felt like I was spending my time in my life trying to earn God's love. And I thought He would show me His love by giving me material things, or if my life was easier, then that meant God loved me. When so-called good things was happening, I must, God must really approve of me. And then when so-called bad things was happening, I thought, like, I must have messed up. God is punishing me. God is disciplining me in some kind of way. This is not, I'm not being godly. And so it was this up and down relationship that I had created in my own head with God. But when I got, when the turnaround happened for me, that He loves me. Like, He loves me on my worst day, and He loves me on my best day. And the love doesn't shift. It's not like, okay, Kenesha, I love you a whole lot today, but 2 days ago when you first somebody out and you lost control, I didn't love you quite as much. That is not who God is. He loves me completely all the time. He loved me enough that He sent Jesus to die for me. That is huge. And I know like everyone don't believe in Jesus. That's not why I'm here. But what I am saying is that we are we have the opportunity to walk in the power of an amazing, loving, living God. But we got to get real clear about who we are and who He is and the power that He has. So, in order to do this life afraid, walk in that certainty. Start there. Start with getting clear about, like, who am I? So with my new belief is that God does love me, and I view the Bible through a place of love. Everything I read in His scriptures, for me, I just see the love in it. Even when it may say something, I wish I could think of a scripture right now, but I can't. But even during those times, for me personally, when I'm going through something, when I'm going through what seems like a rough time or hard time, I tell myself, I was like, oh, God, you love me so much that you're going to see me through this. You love me so much that there's something you want me to learn from this. You love me so much that you're developing maybe my patience muscle, or you're growing me in faith, or your word says to be kind, be good. I have to do that here because I'm at a place where all I have is your mercy. So I've learned that when I view God from a place of love, that the so-called bad times, and I keep saying good times and bad times in quote because I've learned that my good is not God's good, and his bad or my bad is not his bad. And the scriptures tell us his ways are not our ways. So I think as humans we limit God, we limit him from our human perspective, and so we like to put these things in boxes. If you smoke, you bad, or if you fornicate, it like we just come up with all of these things. And I'm not saying there isn't sin. That is not all what I'm saying. What I'm saying is he's bigger than our sin. He can love us through our sin. Sin to me is a distraction from our greatness. So if God loves me so much that he would send his son, then I think he must want the best for me. He wants to have this amazing relationship with me. And where is he going to speak to me? He's going to talk to me and communicate with me from a pure place, because the Bible talks about like he's good, he's pure, he's light. I've never seen a place where light and darkness stood side by side. I've never seen a time like it usually when light shows up, the darkness go away. When darkness shows up, there is no light. So I'm saying all of this to say that get into scriptures, seek his wisdom, live a life full of integrity, make wise decisions, move past the trying to like make it happen or getting a hookup type of mentality, right? So because if you get it, like we are children of the Most High. If we really believe that God owns everything and that he is willing to give us the desires of our heart, then we got to remember the scripture before that. When you delight yourself in him, he will give you the desires of your heart. What God tends to do is he comes into your life and he will reconstruct your heart. So he gives your heart for him, right? And then when your heart aligns with his heart, then he can give you the desires of your heart because your desires are now his desires. So if it's to help people or to even to be a millionaire, I don't think God has a problem with you wanting to be a millionaire, but it's like, what is the push and the cause behind it? Is it just so you can have a big house and drive a big car? Like, where is the blessing in that? Where's that helping someone? So, but that calling that's inside of you, that thing that's like nagging you to do it. For me, I knew like somewhere deep inside of me when I was young, I knew that there was a part of me that wanted to see the world. I didn't even know the name of places. Like I wasn't even a smart kid who would go research what places in the world. I didn't know to want to go to Paris or want to go to Sri Lanka. Even now, I don't open up a map and go, I want to go there. Like, no, I'm not quite that, I guess, ambitious. I'm just open to the possibilities that, wow, life must be amazing. And this world is a pretty big place. And I want to see as much of it as I can. So what I'm saying is there's that thing in you like for me also, I used to have this thing where I wanted to help people. I just like I always thought like life was supposed to be bigger and grander than what it is now. Um, and that's not to belittle anyone's life. It's just to say that like if you are, I thought like if you play basketball, then why not be the Michael Jordan? Why would you want to settle for being um, just anyone? And, and if you find joy in that, what I've learned is like be what you are, be great at it. But that what I'm saying is that thing was inside of me to want to see the greatness in people. So when I would see, even now, the strange thing was I wanted to see it in myself, but I was too afraid to live it out myself because it's easier, of course, to see other people's greatness at the time than it is to see your own. But now what God has shown me is that like I'm great, you're great, we're all great people. He created us all with an intention. And that's the goal. Like the goal is to see your greatness. And then when you start seeing your greatness, you'll see other people's greatness. And there's this exchange that happens where it's the desire to want to lift people up. Because now like you're no longer living at this scarcity level and this scarcity mindset that like if she gets $10 and I only have two, then somehow she has more than me. No, God has all the money. He has access to everything. I don't have to beat my sister down to get something that she has. It's okay. Like that is not a godly mentality. That is not a place living from a place of love. That is living from a place of fear. That is being so afraid that if someone else gets something that you don't have, then somehow they're taking something from you. No, the Bible means it. God means it, that what He has for you is for you. I don't have to take anyone else's. I don't have to be like anyone else. I don't have to deliver my speeches or my seminars like anyone else. I have to be Kenesha. I have to be full on with who I am. I have to embrace my identity. I have to believe that I'm more than a conqueror. I have to believe that I can do all things through Christ. And then I got to get out there and do it. It doesn't matter what I feel like. The feeling is just like an indicator. But it doesn't have to be the thing that drive us. And that is where wisdom comes along. When we learn to live in a place of wisdom and knowledge, the Bible talks about seeking wisdom, getting knowledge. When we learn to live at that place, then everything is not about how I feel. Everything is not, having to make a decision, well, this feels good, so this is what I'm going to do. Because just because it feels good, and I'm sure we've all had enough experiences to know that just because it feels good does not make it good. Just because it seems like it's right doesn't make it right. And I'm not talking about from that sin or non-sin level of right or wrong. I'm talking about from that violating who you are, violating your own moral standards, going against yourself. And if I have a standard of I don't want to be a liar, but then I find myself lying to get the job, that's me going against my own standard, right? So then when other people come to me and lie, and I'm like, well, people always lying to me, that's showing up to show me a reflection of the thing I need to work on in me. So this is me trying to help you guys get what the whole doing it afraid is about. So doing it afraid is about getting truly connected to who you are, understanding the greatness of the God who has prepared you for great things, trusting him to know that He has a plan for your life, and then trusting yourself enough to know that if you so-called fail, whatever that is, you can recover. That God, if you fail, God is not surprised. So it's not like He's sitting around going like, oh, I didn't know that was going to happen. So Kenesha, I don't know what we're going to do. It's all a part of the plan. The failing, as we say, I hear people say, I'm afraid of failure. I don't know what that means, because what is failure? I really don't get that. I'm afraid of failure. And I really reach out, since we're doing this living afraid, doing it afraid thing. Teach me what that is. And the reason I say I don't know what that is, I'm afraid of failure, is because most likely we generally don't fall any further than where we are. Um, so what does that mean? So for me, years ago, we owned a house, and it just came a time where it was just too expensive to keep the house. So we decided to let the house to turn the house back over to the bank, so to go into foreclosure, as they say. Now, I guess to some that's failure, right? But here's the thing: we could afford another house, like we could afford to rent a house, and if we couldn't even afford a house then, my mama has a house. Like, there's places to stay. We have a pretty big family. I wasn't going to end up completely homeless, maybe temporarily inconvenient. But what was the failure in that? There were so many blessings that came once we realized that, one, my identity wasn't connected to my house. I did enjoy my house, but it wasn't who I was. Like, I didn't become a lesser Kanisha because we decided to walk away from that house. The house we was renting, my children were happy. We were closer to our church. So that served as a convenience. But the amazing thing that happened is, in that process of us renting a home versus not owning a home, when Andre got the job to move abroad, we didn't have that to worry about anymore. We didn't have to worry about what was we going to do with our house. We was renting a house. So all we had to do was talk to the landlord and say, hey, listen, we're moving on this date. This is what we want to close out this lease, and let's go. So even in that, that was a blessing. So that's what I mean when I say I don't understand this afraid of failure. You're not going to fall so far that God can't catch you. You're good in that. Go after your dreams. And I'm not encouraging anyone to quit a job or to give it all up. Make small steps. Our dreams are accomplished by little decisions we make day to day. So what I'm encouraging you to do during this process and during this time, even today, decide on what is your dream. If you've always wanted to write a book, at least take time today to find out what does it take to publish a book. Reach out to me, reach out to other people who publish books. Let me tell you something. I will share with you guys, when I publish my book, I pray about everything. I reached out to one publishing company. They was going to charge me $500. They had a long list of things they was offering me. Website, bookmarks, promoting my book, some graphics. They was going to design my book cover for $500, right? So I got to looking at the list, and I thought, well, I can do half of this stuff myself. I'm a graphic designer. I can design my cover. I can design bookmarks. For $500, they was going to print me 2 books, I think, 2 or 3 books. And then after they printed my 2 or 3 books, if I wanted to purchase my own book, it was going to cost me $13. That didn't make sense to me. It's my book. I wrote the books. They making all the money off my book, right? So I prayed, and I was like, okay, Lord, it's got to be. So I reached out to other people who had written a book. I met this amazing woman, never met her in person, met her online via Facebook. People who are living their dreams, they love to share what they're going through. They love to teach you and help you get to where you want to go. She told me the name of the company she was using. I used that company. I paid $60 to upload my book because I could design it myself. And I paid $2 and maybe 50 cents per copy. So whenever I need some of my own books to go to a seminar or to sell, like at my book signing, I'm getting my book for $2. The cost to print it. Now, what's also happening is then you can go online to Amazon.com, Barnes & Noble, anywhere you want, and log on and buy my book. And then I get little checks in the mail. I think it's pretty cool. I get an email that says, we've just deposited X amount of dollars into your account. So what I'm saying is, if you want to write a book, if you want to start a business, if you want to be a fashion designer, whatever that thing is that you've always wanted to do, but you've been too afraid to do it, seek people who are already doing it. Make one decision to move towards it. I can't become a best-selling author in one day. I can't be a master life coach in one day. But every decision I make, I believe, because of the God who I love, and I'm in tune with him, and I'm walking in my purpose, and I'm doing it afraid. Lord knows every time I send out an email or talk to some new people here on this side of the world that I don't know, that don't know me, I'm nervous. But because I'm doing it afraid, I believe God is stamping it like, yes, yes, yes. Keep going, keep doing it, because that's how the harvest comes. That is how we reap what we sow. I am sowing. I am planting seeds right now. So I'm expecting a great harvest. But if I was just sitting here hoping, wishing, and praying for it, I can't expect anything. So that's why I'm encouraging you guys. Focus on whatever that thing is. Do one thing every day to get you closer to your goal. Just one thing. When I started writing my book, I was just writing down thoughts, because I would just have these thoughts. I would have these what I think was really cool thoughts. And Dre said, well, write your thoughts down. If you don't have a whole story, write the thought down. Those thoughts became a 30-day devotion. I didn't know that at the time, but I was planning something. That's what I want you guys to do. Do it afraid, whatever it is. Take one baby step towards your goal. So during this month, go to the website or the Facebook page, Doing It Afraid, and share with the group. What one thing are you going to do afraid today or this week that's going to move you one step closer to your goal, move you one step closer to your dream, that gets you alive again, that gets you feeling like, now I have a purpose for waking up? Because you can still use your job, that you're working on. Maybe you don't love the job, but I would say tap into what you're learning on that job. There are some things God uses all our opportunities to teach us something. So here years back when I was working at this company, Church Initiative, these people, they wrote books, they did videos, they created support groups. So now what I do is I reflect back to the times I had there and the things I saw them do, and I'm like, oh, I can do that. So no, it wasn't my ideal job, but everything that I learned there, everything that maybe frustrated me, and I stopped complaining about the job. I said, you know what, Lord, this is my assignment. Help me learn what I'm supposed to learn while I'm here so that I can move out of it. Stop complaining about the jobs that you had, that you prayed about wishing you would get. Learn what you're supposed to learn while you're there. Tune in. Doesn't matter that it makes you uncomfortable. You're mad and frustrated because you're missing the lesson. You're focusing on the wrong thing. If you change your focus at your job, you wouldn't be frustrated all the time. Because you know what? What is it? A few hours, 8 hours out of your day, maybe 10. I don't know. But it's the job you apply for. Very few of us have jobs that we woke up in the morning and someone called us and said, hey, I heard about you, so come take this job. So it's the job you applied for. Zoom in. Ask God, Lord, you know what? This is not fulfilling my dreams. I'm not completely happy here, but I believe you're going to use this time to develop me into something greater. So please help me to see what that is. And then, guys, pay attention. Pay attention to those lessons so that you don't miss it. And this is how we do life afraid, so that now you're equipped. You're equipped to walk into that meeting that you've been afraid to go to. You're equipped to make the phone call. You are equipped to meet the people that you don't think so-called like you or want to get to know you. Those are just distractions. It's just noise in your head keeping you from the goal. So this is the first video. I hope to do a series of these videos. So this one, again, the focus is on identity, getting to know who you are in God so that you can do it afraid. I really hope this is helpful. Send me questions. Send me comments. I want to hear from you guys. I get tired of just talking to the video. Let's talk back and forth. This is the whole point of this group, Doing It Afraid. So I'm looking forward to knowing how you're going to challenge yourself. What are you going to do this week or this month afraid to get this momentum going? Because it is time for us to live our dreams. Life is short, but as some people say, short and wide. And I'm enjoying every minute of it. Even my downtime, I look for what God is doing in it. So I hope this is a blessing to you guys. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Leave your comments. Email me. Please email me. And let's schedule that Google Hangout. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.